what I have for you today is not quite yoga. It is, again, post-workout stretching or recovery day stretching. These are stretches I do a lot. Mostly I do these in the evening so that it kind of helps me unwind from the day and so that I will potentially sleep better. Most of them are going to be on the floor, but we're going to start with two that require you to be standing, and I'm trying to get as far back from the camera as I can, but I'm just going to turn to the side. But I do want to mention I do have a balance pad and I have yoga blocks because I need that to help me do some of these exercises or to do some of these stretches, and my knees are much happier if I'm on something cushioned. And your knees might be happier too. So make sure you roll your yoga mat up 2 or 3 times at one end if that feels better to you. However, we are going to start with, it's not a mountain pose, close to a mountain pose, and we're just going to reach overhead like 2 or 3 times, and then from there we're going to go straight down to a forward fold, and we're going to hold it there, and then we're going to come part way up and we're going to go down again. I start with about 2 to 3 deep breaths, come back up and do it one more time. All right, we're going to make our way down to the floor, so that means turn to the side or whatever works best for you, and you're going to come down to a downward facing dog. Again, I'm not flexible, so it just doesn't look that graceful, but you can just bend your legs as needed to kind of loosen up and really try to push your head back between your arms and let your head drop to the floor, okay? From there, we're going to drop the knees, and we will end up with the downward facing dog at the end, but we're done with that for the moment. Do what you can. I'm going to give you another handy dandy trick. If you do not have yoga blocks, weights work really well. They should be flat on the ends. Those are a little bit rounded, so they would require a whole lot more effort to keep them straight. But anyway, no yoga blocks. You can use weights. Soup cans work too. So from here, we're going to go feet out nice and wide, and we're going to cat, which means arch your back, and we're going to go cow, which means push your boobs down or your chest down and look up and tilt your butt towards the ceiling. And we're going to do that 2 or 3 times. Now again, you can do this 10 times, 5 times, whatever feels best for you. When I am doing this in the evening, I do minimum about 10 times for this particular pose. So breathe in, breathe out. All right. From here, we're going to push your butt all the way back and make your knees as wide as it feels comfortable. And we're going to just drop our head to the floor and reach out. This one will be 10 deep breaths. And from here, we're just going to transition all the way to the floor. Elbow should just be at your side, and then you're going to push yourself up. Now, if you can't get yourself up this high, you're going to push yourself up to here. But think about pushing your hips into the floor and lifting your chest. But if you can, go to here You can push your arms out kind of as far as, your hands out as far as they need to go to get yourself up, and you're going to feel this all through the front of your body. Again, about 10 deep breaths. And it should feel really good. From here, we're going to hands back to your shoulders. Push yourself right back to that child's pose. One more time. All right. This is where my balance pad comes in really handy, because I'm going to go from this child's pose into a low lunge or a runner's lunge, and it's just knee on the floor, knees bent, or you call it Prince Charming, either or, whatever works good for you. And I'm just going to hang on to my yoga blocks, and I'm going to push myself forward, and then I'm going to straighten this leg. Try to pull your toe towards you, and I'm going to do this usually 10 times. You kind of figure out what feels best for you. All right, so this is probably the 5th time. From here, hand on the floor or hand on your block, and I'm just going to twist away, and really you're going to feel it all through here. You will also should feel it in the opposite shoulder, maybe in the opposite butt muscle. Again, 10 deep breaths. And then I'm going to come back to here. Take this other yoga block or whatever that you have on hand, and I'm going to try to push my elbow towards the floor. As you can see, I'm not getting all the way down to the floor. I'm getting to right about there, which is fine, but you're definitely feeling that in your butt muscle and in your hamstring. And again, 10 deep breaths. And the more you breathe, the deeper you breathe, the better the stretching will go. All right, from here, I'm going to step back. I'm going to do one more child's pose, just for a second. And then I'm going to step forward with the other leg, hands on either side of the foot or on either block. And I am going to, about 5 times, rock back and forth to see if I can get these muscles to limber up a little bit. And again, you can hold it here for 10 deep breaths, and you can hold it here for 10 deep breaths. This one feels really fantastic if your back is sore and tight. So do it however feels good to you. So pause this as much as you need to. I think this is number 5. And from here, I'm going to push myself forward, and I'm going to twist and hold. And this side is tighter than the other side, so I'm just going to kind of push it a little bit and see if I can get those muscles to limber up a little bit. All right. And then I'm going to go back to this inner thigh and hamstring stretch where I'm trying to get the elbow to the floor. Again, do what you can do. If that just means you're just going to push your elbow towards the floor, great. If you have something to rest your elbow on, I find that helps me focus better, but you do what works best for you. All right. From here, I'm going to go right back to on my knees, but this is where I'm going to switch myself to seated on the floor. And I will move this. And I want you to feet out in front of you, and knees should be bent as far as it feels comfortable. And you're just going to reach forward toward those toes. And that could just be, I'm just going to reach and try to get my fingertips to my toes. And you're going to hold it here, again, 10 deep breaths. What I would really like for you to be able to do, if you can, if you can't today, you'll get there. And I'm speaking from being an inflexible person, so trust me, you will eventually get there. You want to put your elbows inside your hand, inside your knees, and grab the outside of your feet. And then kind of from there, kind of like lengthen your legs as much as they feel comfortable, or as much as your back feels okay with you doing it. And just think about breathing and letting the back, butt, hamstrings all just try to loosen up. And I will say there are lots of days, I do have a cheat sheet, there are lots of days where I can't necessarily reach my toes, and that's okay. From here, I want you to bend one leg with the foot in front of you, and then you're going to bend the opposite leg. So it's a 90-degree angle, 90-degree angle, and you're just going to come forward and stretch. You should feel that in the outside of your leg. You can also go diagonally. You decide which feels best for you. And again, just come straight forward, and 10 big, big, deep breaths. From here, I will tell you, I want you to put that elbow on the floor, and you're just gonna lean back, like you're gonna try to give someone a weird high five behind you, and you should feel it all through here. For me, this feels fantastic. If you're not feeling anything, just don't hang out here, okay? And you can go right back to this stretch if that feels better for you. And I'll tell you to straighten that leg out, reach towards your toe. If you can't reach your toe, reach for wherever, and just lean, and then slowly take this hand overhead, and we're just kind of like moving that direction. 10 big, big, deep breaths. And I guess this is where I need to pause and tell you, I don't instruct yoga. I've only been doing yoga for about 3 months or so, and a lot of these stretches are ones that I already did in my routine, but I have learned a new thing or two, and I've learned to be patient and to really hold that pose and breathe and let the body figure itself out and loosen itself up. So if you've been doing yoga for a long time and you're like, this is really dumb, then please just go do regular yoga and not my sorta yoga, not quite yoga, recovery stretches or end of workout stretches. So, and again, 90-degree angle, 90-degree angle, and we're just going to kind of come forward as far as that feels good for you. On this side, it feels a little bit better if I kind of go a little bit diagonal. Again, you know your body. I'm not in your living room with you. You figure that out for yourself. And only go as far as feels good to you. If you can only go to here, great, stay there. And for some people, it might feel better to put your hands down and push yourself away, and you might feel a little bit more in the deep butt muscle where your hip and your thigh comes together. And again, elbow on the floor, and we're gonna just reach behind you, like high five. I'm gonna basically pat my bamboo on its leaves. And this feels fantastic to me every time I do it. Then I'm going to come back here, straighten that leg out to the side. You can hold on to your thigh or ankle or whatever, but you can reach towards your toe as well. And then you're going to reach this hand gently overhead, and we're just going to kind of work on the side of the body. So I'm much tighter on this side, so I will grab my ankle and reach. All right, so we are almost there. I want you to come down to the floor, lay all the way back, feet flat, and I just want you to give me a bridge pose, and then if you can reach all the way overhead. And I don't want you to hold it if it doesn't feel good to you. This is how I want you to accomplish this, is lift and reach and right back down. 5 to 10 of these, or hold for 10 seconds. All right. Then I want you to grab one knee, bring it to your chest, straighten the other leg all the way, and that is going to really loosen up this area, your hip flexors, and it should feel fantastic for your back. And again, big, big, big deep breaths for 10. Then you'll bring the other knee up, hold on to this one, and drop that other leg nice and slow. Because that's going to tell your body, hey, we're stretching here, and it's not going to get your butt muscles to contract too much. If you just drop that leg, lots of other things happen than the stretch that I want you to do. And really, like, push that leg, push that foot far apart, pull this leg all the way up to you. Circle your ankles if that feels good, and then all the way back, arms overhead, and 2 more stretches. So you want to bend your knees, and you just want to rock your knees over to one side. This arm is going to be out. You're going to look that direction, whichever way your arm is pointed. And you're just going to hold it there. If it feels better for you to grab your knees and pull your knees up a little bit more, great. If you're just feeling a great stretch by just rolling to that side, hang out there. This is a really good one when you're lying in bed and you're trying to find a comfortable spot to do this. Do it on both sides and just kind of find a spot that feels great for you to help you fall asleep. Or maybe that's just me. Okay, knees to center, and then right back to the other side. Drop your hand out to the other hand out to the side. There's a wall kind of in my way, but I do often feel this in my chest and in my lats or under my armpit. And oftentimes I'll bring my arm way up here just to kind of really elongate my body as much as I can. All right, 10 deep breaths. And if you just stop here and fall asleep, that's fine. Do what you got to do. And I'm going to have you come right back up and slowly come up to your knees. And okay, I lied, 3 more stretches because we're going to add a downward facing dog to here. And again, you can like walk your legs if that feels good, or you can just hang out here. Try to get as much length as you can. And then I want you to walk up, and feet are going to be super wide. Super wide. Let me turn this direction. So feet should be super wide. If you can reach the floor, fantastic. If you can't, use some blocks, soup cans, or water bottles. And I do want you to think about Straightening your back. Back should be straight. And hang out there for a second. And from there, you're going to come all the way up to standing. You are done. But if you want to stay on the floor and end your stretches that way, that works too. Yeah, just lay on the floor. I think it's called Savasana, where you just basically lay on the floor and let the body figure out that you're stretched, you're a little bit limber, and you're relaxed. Anyway, enjoy your stretching, and let me know what you think. Again, recovery day or end of workout stretch if you feel like you maybe overdid it a little bit. I will see you soon. Enjoy your stretching.